If you're driving around any big town in Britain looking for a parking place these days, you're a prisoner. You might almost be in a cell except for the view, and that's mostly other cars. London today is one big outdoor garage, and if all the vehicles in Britain find themselves jam-packed bumper to bumper, nobody's going to be very surprised. We've already got 36 motor vehicles to every mile of road, 29 of them private cars. It's certainly one of the highest figures in the world, higher than the United States or Western Europe, although Hong Kong has more. It sometimes looks as if a roof's the only place to leave a car, but getting up there's a problem. The common law principle is that the Queen's Highway shall give passage and access. Very often, residents can't get access and nobody else has a chance of passage. Like soldiers from Mars, parking meters are beginning to muster in our big cities. They solve some problems, but not the one of having the right money in the first place and remembering when time's up in the second. One thing they do is to improve relations between public and police. Instead of hating the coppers, drivers can take it out on the wardens. But if they're chivalrous, they'll have to watch their language with lady wardens. And incidentally, they may get a lesson in tidiness thrown in. There's another question. Should all cars cost the same to park? These two do. And other light craft sometimes seem to get more than their fair share. The bigger and better roads that pour traffic into towns are a national responsibility. When it piles up inside, it's the local authorities' job to keep it on the move. One way is to drive off offenders' cars. In London alone, well over 100 are impounded every day. The police have a key to fit very nearly every known make of car, at least 90%, and any freak models can always be towed off. Maybe these motorists didn't notice the yellow line that makes the difference between legality and crime, but the prowling squad car soon spotted the transgressors. Out comes the box of keys, and somebody's going to get back from lunch or a business appointment or a stroll around the shops to find that he's a long way to go before he's mobile again. Right near the City of London, at Woolwich, something is being done. This 8-story car park will have space for 256 cars, and it'll get the full load off the street in 50 minutes. There's another one going up in London. This is how it'll work. The car is driven onto roller conveyors, a button is pressed, and the car's whisked off and up to its appointed cubbyhole. The owner does nothing else until he wants it back and presses the button again. Each space has a keyhole in the control panel. It's as individual as a changing room locker, and just as simple to operate. No risk of getting the wrong vehicle back either. But until there are very many more multi-story parks, it looks as if there's only one bit of land where you can leave a car unattended without fearing the consequences. The last parking space, where those products of proud workmanship, precision engineering and elaborate machinery are disposed of in a rather cruder way. Business has been good for the breakers since the 10-year test began. At the 15,000 garages licensed for the job, around 40% of candidates fail first time. Steering's one of the big pitfalls. Lights are another, often for easily corrected faults. The biggest cause of rejection is brakes, also perhaps the greatest danger to public safety in that moment of emergency that may crop up today. Rejection is bitter. The old steed is well loved. But there's one consolation. If he'd passed, he'd have had to pay another shilling for the certificate. The test has no respect for age, but the Veteran Car Club reports a high percentage of successes among these specimens. You couldn't expect the same for these sorry sights. Many people seem to feel that they pay for the roads and have the right to use them as a dumping ground. London Airport has parking problems. At a shilling for half an hour, the rate is reasonable. But so many people took to leaving their cars in the park while holidaying abroad that a new sliding scale was introduced, and after 4 days, it works out at £2 a day. There still doesn't seem to be much space to spare, though. Building parks costs money. Somebody's got to pay for it. How much will the motorist wear? This device shows the economics of it. Dials are set indicating cost of land, rates and other variables. The daily parking fee is the deciding factor between profit and loss. In big cities with no subsidy, 8 to 9 shillings a day may well turn out to be the minimum. It's all enough to drive anyone out of town. But even the open road's no longer a safe place to draw up in a mechanically propelled vehicle. And it looks as if the only escape from a prison on wheels is into the arms of the law.